Hey, hey, Hope Crew, represent. I'm going to do things differently. Like I said, I've been trying to figure out some things to do. And one thing is I've turned it horizontally. So that's, what I should have been doing from the beginning. I knew that, but it was hard to navigate how to do it. But anyway, I've got a video for you right now that I'm going to give you about bankruptcy survival. Because as someone who's been through that, I'm going to kind of explain some things, and it may turn out to be maybe a 3-part little type of series. Okay, let's see how this one does. All right, so my thing is, I had to go into bankruptcy. I had to do Chapter 13 bankruptcy, which is different. There's different types of bankruptcy, but the one I did is the one where you pay back your debts in a monthly payment, and you send those, the check in my case for was $320, I think, a month, something like that. I would send in to a trustee at, in a legal place, and they would go and take care of just, kind of dispersing the debt, whatever percentage that you have agreed on. Your lawyers negotiated for you in Chapter 13 to get not where you have to pay all of your debt back because you're in trouble already and they know you can't make the payments. And like me, foreclosure was imminent. My car was, it was imminently going to be repossessed and all that stuff. So if you're paying this back as a percentage, the lawyer will negotiate and get a certain amount of your income that they think you can afford to send to these people. And then eventually within, 3 to 5 years, mine it was 5 years, then if you've followed all those steps, you will be discharged and whoop, you get to me, I got what was basically a clean slate, thank God. And I wanted to share some of that with you guys because I know there's questions. And I don't do scripted stuff, but I did write down a few things that I wanted to make sure to tell you because this is important information if you need it, okay? So one thing you've got to know is it can't wipe out student loans. Hopefully everybody knows that by now. So if you do have student loan problems like I did, it's not something that will help you with student loan problems. Did it cost a lot to do the bankruptcy as far as the attorney? Absolutely not. She took, I believe it was 300 and whatever dollars, and that was the filing cost, whatever she made from that. And then I can't remember exactly how it goes. I would have to look at the paperwork, and I haven't done that for a couple of years. But I'd have to look at the paperwork and see if she wrote her, her bill into my bankruptcy. I think that's the way that worked with her. But she was amazing. She worked with people that do bankruptcy, have this issue all the time and helped me so much. And it was set up for 5 years. So it took me 5 years from 2016 to 2021. And I had paid my, my percentage of the debt. And that was an amazing thing for me. Now, what I want to help you with, though, is, why did I choose bankruptcy and what might you consider before doing bankruptcy? So I'm just going to lay it out there. Now, in my case, and just like a lot of people that do Chapter 13, okay, what you have is you have a steady income, okay? I'm a teacher, and teachers don't make a lot of money, but it's a steady income. I mean, you have something coming to you. And so that is a good thing for Chapter 13. Also, what they'll do is they'll look at things like, as I said, my house. I was getting these like notices of, hey, you're behind, blah, blah, blah. And the mortgage company was after me and calling me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't pay that amount. The car. I have this story, my friend, her name is Shonda, and one time I called her because she was like, hey, girl, you got to get me here because I need help. She said, what's up? And she came over. Well, she said, I told her that they were about to repo my car. And she said, all right, gotcha. Said, bring it over to my house. They don't know where I live. They don't know anything about me. Just leave it in my house. And then she helped me take care of that situation, hid the car away for a little while. Am I proud of that? No, of course I'm not. But, I didn't lose the car. Now, I had one more close call with the repo man. The guy, it was some guy in the middle of the night. I could hear it because I was waiting. I was waiting for my direct deposit pay to go into my bank account in order to actually pay that car payment that was due that day. So midnight is when it was supposed to hit. And this guy comes and he's, getting ready to attach my car and tow it away. And I was like, oh, please. I said, look, man, I'm waiting for this check to drop. I'm going to send them that money immediately when the check drops. And wouldn't you know, midnight came and went. And I kept double checking on my bank account and I'm showing him. And he's like, look, after a while, I thought he's going to say, look, I have to do it. God blessed me so much. God knows sometimes, well, God knows everything, but God knew that I needed this little boost here. And what happened was the guy said, all right, look, he said, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to tell them tomorrow that you weren't home. He said, just, pay that as soon as it does go through your bank. And I did. Whew, that was a blessing. Oh my goodness, that guy. I've told that story for years about that at this point. But bless him, he was one of those human angels in disguise, right? Or an angel disguised as a human. So what's happening with the chapter 13, though, is you're paying back the debts. You have to have your attorney work out this percentage and so on. And then you have to give them a budget every year. Okay, they need to know where all your disposable income is going. So how do you make all that work? That's another thing I'd like to go into a lot more detail in another video about. But the thing is, good things about taking bankruptcy, of course, are things like they cannot come and take your car because you're actually making a payment on it once you get into the system through the trustee. They cannot take your house. They can't threaten you with foreclosure and all of that. Fantastic. Talk about stress relief. And you know that you're working towards something. And I was shocked. Like I said, my lawyer said most people don't make it through the Chapter 13 bankruptcy and get everything paid. And again, I'm like a lot of you. I'm like, what other option is there? You have to do what you got to do. You got to get out there and hustle and do something. I started doing tons of overtime teaching. I've kind of always done a lot of overtime teaching some classes to make extra money. And I've always taught in the summers and all kinds of stuff. When a lot of people think, teachers are off, some of us are out there hustling. Some of us are doing things like other part-time jobs, as a matter of fact. So there's all that. Now, one thing that's really, I think, kind of sad is that it can't get rid of the student loans, like I mentioned, and it can't get rid of if you have recent unpaid taxes, which, I don't have that problem. I didn't have that problem at the time at all with the taxes because I usually wouldn't owe anything. I would usually come out somewhere around even or maybe get a little bit of money back from the government. But what I'd like to do is continue this. Like I said, I'm going to list some really clear pros and cons in the next video to see if you think that maybe this is for you. And I'm going to give you some tips in another video probably as to how to not make the mistakes that I made when I was in Chapter 13 bankruptcy. So thank you guys. Anybody that watched, if you got any value out of it at all, please sub if you want to. Give it a like if you want to. I would love that. It would make my day. So, Hope Crew, rock on.